Hey guys. Morning, all you guys. Morning, Dudley, Chirpy, Stephen Lang. Evening to Fridge. Hey, Dan Shed, Stuart Hingston, Tom Make here. Hi from Cornwall, good day. Peter, good day. What exciting things are happening? Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or any other crazy religious festival any of you might be into. The statistic is apparently that Russ Knox, g'day, is that there's 4,200 organised religions in the world. 4,200 organised religions, and some people believe that 4,199 of them are false, and some people believe that 4,200 of them are false. So no one's really all that much different, to be honest. Just a useful little statistic there. Hi, Paul. Look Creations. G'day. Creasy's Workshop. Goodness gracious. Creasy's Workshop. G'day. There's a rebrand for John Creasy of Creasy's Workshop. That's exciting. Look, I don't know if I'm achieving much this week. This is Warren Wise. G'day. This is Christmas weekend. To be perfectly honest, I don't do much Christmas week or the 2 weeks leading up to it, except work and sleep. And I had yesterday off. I've got a squeaky chair, sorry. Let's try again. Yep, it's squeaking nicely. Had yesterday off and I had Sunday off and I worked Monday, worked today. I've got 2 more days and then I've got 4 days off, which is amazing. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No real plans as yet. If I've got maybe some extra cash, I might buy some plywood and make some furniture. Not convinced that's going to happen. Probably I'll finish or do some more on. Have a look. This press stand, which needs a little bit more undercoat and a little bit more paint scratching and bolting all together and a coat of paint on it. So I'd like by the end of Christmas to have that painted green and set up the right way with the press on it, but we'll see how we go with that. But that's probably going to be about the extent of it. The astute viewer and life chronicler will observe the bench is more or less clean. Haven't said more or less. This end of the bench is more or less clean. It's not too bad all over. There's probably a dozen things on it could find homes for yet, and we've got a clean bench. So that's where we're at. Pretty proud of that, but that's what I did yesterday, was clean the bench really. The grey settee belongs to someone who's getting stuff stored here. Mine's upstairs. I'm not sure how long that's going to be there, but there you go. Yeah, so we've got a clean bench. Look at this, a pan. Moderately clean, reasonably clean. Right. It's not too bad. So excited about that. It's yeah, I need to clean up here. Usually if I clean up, it's procrastinating something. So it usually means there's no progress when the bench is clean. I haven't actually done anything. But I did spend a few hours yesterday cleaning and a few hours on Sunday. Got a little bit of progress, I think. Yeah, you need a new shed. That's what you need. You want to raise all those buildings to the ground, put a big new shed on it. Living quarters in one corner. So this loco got a bit of a spring clean. This just had it yesterday too. This is somewhere near being sort of half finished. This chassis is sort of ditto really. Needs a boiler on it soon. That's what I really need to do. Went through all my drills that were kicking around the bench here everywhere and filled the metric index up. It's not quite full. There's a couple missing. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 drills missing. Yeah, they must be here somewhere. We'll eventually get it filled up. Yeah, Chirpy's, don't let him fool you. He does a lot of stuff. This one too. This is my Imperial one, it's the 32nds and 64ths. There's about 4 missing here. I reckon this is here somewhere. There's a 13 32nd drill. It must be here somewhere. And there's a 332, which I'm sure I've got one of, and a 964th. And there's a quarter missing, and the quarter's got to be here somewhere. This is a nice Bakelite drill stand. This thing's Chinese and plastic, and I've never really been in love with it. But there you go. This one come from Flea Market. It's a good one. It's nice. What's written under it? Made in Index, this one. This one's Chinese and probably come off AliExpress or somewhere. I'm not really a big fan of it. It's a bit of a cow. The bearings in it, there's no bearings in it, it's just on a tapered bearing, and it tends to lean over that way fairly considerably for some reason. And none of the holes really fit. You need to get each drill and run through here and sort of make them, open them out so that they actually go in and come out. Something decent in aluminium would be nice. I noticed PGS has had a couple of goes at making one that's harder than it looks, I think. But we'll see what happens. That's pretty bad. Paul, that's a really smart idea. Don't. Yeah, top of the class. Popular tap sizes are not represented, Stephen, in peserometric drill. They should be. What are they? 2.5? 3.5? 4.3? 5 mil? 5.8? No, that's not right. 5 mil, 6.8. And 8.5. There you go. I've probably got 10 6.8 millimeter drills because it's a common one I use. It's a trick, I guess everyone knows that, is that if you take in a metric thread, if you take the pitch from the diameter, you get the tapping thread, the tapping drill size. Does everyone know that? So if you've got 8 mil tap and it's 1.25 mil pitch, 6.8 is the tapping size, and the same with, say, 6 millimeter by 1 millimeter, the tapping drill size is 5 millimeters. So that may or may not be useful information for people. But 6.8 is not the set, that's pretty crap. That's kind of a pretty common size, I would have thought. Fair enough, no one thought that through. So, press progress. We've got an empty tin of primer. I've got some pretty weird metric threads, metric taps. This is kind of where we're at. What about this one? M7 by 1 mil. You need a 6 mil tap. It's a real thing. M10 by 1.5. M9 by 1.25, M8 by 1 millimeters, M10 by 1.5. What else have I got here? The standard M10. M10 by 1 mil. M14 by 2 mil. M14 by 1.25. M14 by 1. You've got to be pretty keen for an M14 tap, but they're all there. Got all the 14 millimeter threads if anyone's interested. M6, we've got a lot of small stuff, it's odd stuff. Probably is M25, 2.5, M3 by 5. I've probably got M3 fine, and I've got M2.5 fine, I reckon, here somewhere. M3 by 0.6. M3 by 0.5. So that's M3 coarse. Don't know what's there. And there'll be 3 M4s, I reckon. So we got M4 by 0.7, 0.75, M4.5 by 7.5. That's a useful thread. 0.7 and M4 by 0.5. Are very useful sizes there. M4 4.5 ain't very common. I've got one of those. But yeah, metric drill set, pretty useful. These are 0.1 millimeters, which I would say is about the minimum. This is 13, this goes to 10 millimeter at 0.1, and then the bigger sizes are 0.3 or 0.6 or something, 0.5 sizes. So 3.6, 3.8, 3.9, 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, etc. That's a pretty good drill set for metric. The other one I probably use more is this one, which is number drill set. This for models, I use this a lot because most of model engineer threads charts use this system, so it's easy just to have that on the bench. Nigel, g'day. Yes, please. I'll be in touch. Matt, I'll be in touch about that. I'll send you a message ASAP. Sorry. Yes. Took this, been messing with this a bit. that's heavy. That is straight, promise. This plate was around here on the front, which was covering up a hole. If we have a look. This has two tapped holes in here, one here and one here. Not sure what they're for. Guess you can probably nearly see that. One there and one there, 1/4 inch tapped holes. It's probably for a chute or a basket or attachment of some sort. No idea what it's for really. Stop or... But it looked like they're probably part of it. And one of these this plate here was over the top of it. And took it off to paint under it. So I'll put that on up there out of the way. So it's nice to keep that bit of history that says J.W. Hanley, Proprietary Limited. Plant item number 666 or something anyway. Put that plate back on it. This is all sort of half back together. All runs nice. The pendulum and everything's all painted up. I've just basically got to finish the bench, which is over here, which is pretty heavy. Put the other leg on it and give it a coat of paint and set it upside down on the floor and refinish painting it. So that's kind of where we're at. And hopefully this will be back somewhere near being ready to use by the time I get a die plate for it and stuff. So there you go. That's that. Probably for light work, a vertical slotter, if you put a table on it, it'd probably work too, but don't think it's got the power to run a broach through though. Certainly hasn't got the stroke really. So that's sort of my updates, to be honest. Everyone's got new videos out except me. I'm a bit slack. I really am, to be honest. I apologise for that. I would love to make some headway on projects I've started that I've started taking some video about. One is the library, and the rest of our magazine holders are still on back order somewhere. Don't know, I must have bought the entire stock of the country out because no one else has got any. What else? I've got a drawing that's happening upstairs. Have I lost a small Allen key? Very good question. Do you have a small Allen key? Or are you looking at this one here? I put in there so the pin doesn't fall out when I lift it across on another bench. I've got a box full of them. They make good pins. I'd find an R-clip for that at some point. Life is an unfinished project. That's the trouble. I am doing a drawing upstairs, which is coming up all right. There's a fair bit of work in it, just on standard tracing vellum. It's polypropylene or whatever it is. It's transparent plastic sheet. And there's a bit involved in it. Now, I probably should come clean about that project, but I haven't as yet. Right, I'm not quite ready yet. So, we'll work out what's sort of involved in it and what needs to be done before I sort of say that I affirm yes or no on that one. Needless to say that this book is probably. Hope you. Basically, I'm still cleaning. I haven't got the milling machine wired up. I've got this bench almost clean. I've got the other two benches looking a little bit better. There's a fair bit of junk to put away, and I'm going to need to make some boxes for some stock storage. Milo, that's probably what it is, Paul. Yes. Take care. Have fun with the trees. Need another Land Rover update, Matt. There was another. I think I saw a video popped up from Stephen Lang, which I haven't watched yet. I haven't watched a lot of videos, to be honest, this last weekend. I did watch Matty's this morning. And Aaron's this morning. Or Aaron's this afternoon. I watched Bad Obsession Motorsports Project Binky video on yesterday. It was first I'd got to it after it was released on Sunday or something. What else? You haven't done particularly well with the video watching, and I'm sorry about that. Stock storage is a hot topic. It's a bit of a pain in the neck, but I'm going to have to get some. I'm going to get another couple of sheets of form ply. I've got. If you can see that, you probably can't. Let's have a look. Up here, right? There's a window there, which is my bedroom window. Besides that, there's a wall there on the landing. I want a cubby hole between the window and the wall. Against that wall, I want a cubby hole shelf unit to store stuff. If I can get that up there, then most of this junk that's on the landing, like all these storage boxes that I'm still unpacking, can you believe it? Can then go in that, and we can start thinking about saying that everything upstairs unpacked and is suitable for visitors, because at the moment it's not. By form ply, we mean this stuff. I've got some offcuts. Probably I'm going to make some boxes out of this too. This doesn't dovetail particularly well with the router, just from experience. But that's a besides. Probably got enough bits there to make a couple of boxes to put some stock storage in, wherever I'm going to keep it. I don't know. That's probably an over Christmas project, is to make some stock storage boxes. Oh, excuse me. Gosh, I'm a bit sleepy. Yeah, it's better than MDF, and it cuts up pretty well and screws together fairly nice. I've still got to make 2 bookcases for upstairs as well. And a storage unit for over there above the grinder bench. Something there as well. So there's a couple of sheets of plywood I could chop up and make things. Probably got, oh, there was a bit left here of, don't know how big it was. Sort of thought there was enough here to, maybe I chopped that up. I really thought there was enough here to make half a new bookcase, but that hasn't happened yet. Probably enough here to make a full new bookcase, but I don't know where that bit went. Hey, Kevin. Congrats on the new heat treat oven, Kev. Looks good. Oh my God. It's under there. I'm using it as a bench. Anyway, there is a bit there. I had to look for it. So there's probably enough here to make one bookcase. I'd like to think. I've already got the shelves made up for it. I've just got to get up there and make it, put it together. Now I can get one bookcase up there, and then I can get some books put away, which would be awesome. I haven't watched Gwynn's video either. I saw it pop up, but yeah, I probably will watch it. If anyone can listen, Dan's in there watching Love Actually, so he'll be a mess for Christmas. That's humour. No plumber picks in a Patreon, that's fair. What else? Need to make a box over here too. We'll have a look. He hasn't got internet, and that's together too complicated at this point. I'd like to get internet on for him, but it hasn't happened yet. Got this space under here, right? This lathe, look, don't look too close. It gets used fairly regularly, and it's a bit of a mess. But I've got this space under here, right? What I'd like is a box for chucks and things with like till system. So that's probably another project that's going to happen sooner rather than later, and then we can put all these chucks and things in there, and chuck keys and some collets and things, and everything's tucked away out of the way, and that sort of makes a huge dent in our, or a huge sort of recess in our available bench space. It makes the bench space a whole lot bigger. So I might get that onto that and just make a box to go in there, and probably pull out over centre drawers. So you pull the top out and they flop over forward, and you can get stuff out and then push them over backwards so that it keeps the dust out. That's the theory there. I've got spanners and junk that need homes. I've got a drawer full of spanners there, and the drawer's not big enough anymore. I've got 3 drawers full of files, and they're not big enough either. I've got a drawer full of calipers and rulers, and that's not big enough. And this one that says abrasives on the top hasn't got abrasives in it at all because it's not really very useful. So if you hit her up, Dudley and Bill, and say that, look, we really were looking forward to those pictures, she probably would oblige. I mean, I don't think she's particularly judgmental. If that's your thing, you just got to let her know. I'm just putting that out there. So this bench is a whole lot tidier than it was. Now, don't disregard the chaos, but this was piled pretty tall by this time last week. I've spent some time putting stuff away. Got a stick of solder to go somewhere and a couple of sets of drills. I've got a solenoid there for something. I've got a centre off a grinder, which may or may not be useful for something, don't know what. I've got a windscreen or a wiper motor or something. I have a Leatherwood honey tin with stuff in it. That's full of Model T buzz coil points. For George Chuck, there's that is a master for that thread on the lathe because this had new nuts made for it. There's a bit of aluminium there to make a pallet for the milling machine. There's a micrometer stand. There's a box full of centre drills. There's a box of Allen keys there. There's some unfinished projects. There's, a lot of stuff that needs cleaning. But we're getting there, I think. The frog works all right once you get him going. The 3D printed frog. See, John needs a 3D printer. John Creasy needs a 3D printer. He can make frogs like this. He's not a bad frog, actually. So there you go. So mostly this is just junk that needs putting away. It's as simple as that. Like, seriously. I need to make up a decent clamp for this lamp. That's not good enough, and I'd like a couple of like U-bolts around there, and that's probably what it'll end up with, to clamp this lamp up here so that it doesn't swivel around. Hey, Paul. This has got a magnifying lamp on here, but it's kind of, that clamp's a bit useless on that small tube. It's a watchmaker's alcohol lamp there, if anyone's wondering what that is. So I'm nowhere near put stuff away. Like, seriously, this is all stock. And the place is a bit of a mess. But it's a whole lot better than it was. And I feel like I'm slowly getting places, you know? Maybe. So, there we go. It'd be awesome if I was, but we'll see. Excuse me. Goodness gracious. Do you know, I guess everyone's got plans for Christmas and family and stuff like that. I don't really. Usually go to work function for Christmas Day because we're sort of family. But Sam's wife's having a baby on the 29th, and probably they're not going to have Christmas dinner. So probably I'm here on my own for 4 days, which is probably quite pleasant, really. We'll live with it. Which side? The Art Syndicate side. Yeah, it's a pain. I'm kind of about ready to throw it in and say, hey, look, I'm not going to do it, to be honest, because it just does not want to play nice. Add a lot of goes at it to get it to there, and it's still not good. I'm really unhappy about that. The plastic's just not taking the paint, and it certainly won't take Silver Leaf. That's just an impossible project. Pretty terrible, actually. It's really not good, and because it's on like a clear acrylic, it's greasy. Oily finished plastic, it's shiny, self-lubricating nearly. No way in the world paint will stick to it, and you can try just about anything and it still won't. So I'm about ready to put that on the also run pile, to be honest. But anyway, need to set up some welding space is something that I do need to do when I get all this to the sort of fixed and looking half tidy. I need a little welding bench. Put the welder under, probably on casters, something like that, something I can wheel over in the corner out of the way, wheel out if I need it. That's the theory. So that's going to happen. Gosh, yeah, being popular, Mark's right. It sounds like hard work. Sunday morning I intend to sleep in, or Saturday morning I intend to sleep in, probably Sunday too. I've got a crap load to do before then, 2 days to get a lot of projects finished. And then, at work anyway, and then Saturday and Sunday I get some laundry done, probably pick up and stack some books, probably clean the lathe, probably clean off a couple of these benches. Maybe next week you'll see some more progress. Scuffed it and put a base coat of primer on, all those sort of things. I can't get the stuff to stick to it, sorry. Enamel just won't stick to it. We've used like Penetrol and hardener in the paint, all sorts of things that people have suggested. Had no luck at all. Different cleaning agents, different stuff. Just an atrocious job, really. If it had been on glass, I would have had no problems, but it's just terrible. Is that drill scan 3D printed? No. Probably that's a way forward. You can make something that is 3D printed that's half decent, like honestly. Probably could. I don't know if you get the resolution for the numbers, but if I made another one, I wouldn't make it like that. It's not really a very practical way to do it, and all the drills are too close together. Remain unconvinced on the whole drill stand thing. Cast aluminium would be nice. But even MDF, and we could probably laser engrave all the holes in it and then drill them. It might be a quick and easy way to do it as well. Don't know. Watch this space as far as that goes. It may not happen, or it may. Anyway. Put them in a Tupperware box. That's about probably where you should be. I've got a little chest of drawers over there that has all my spare ones in it. Like one drawer for each millimetres in size. So all my spare 3 to 4 millimetre and all my spare 4 to 5 millimetre and all my spare 5 to 6 and all my spare 6 to 7 and etc, 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 all in the chest of drawers, which is good because if I need a new drill, that's where I go. But makes them very difficult to find, to be honest. This is part code. That's all right, Paul, but they tend to go rusty, I find. Hey, Jim. This is the steel boiler code. I've been studying this up a bit. It's a bit of a rabbit warren, to be honest. But it's pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of, if you go through it, you can usually find the information first time through, which I like. This is the Australian Miniature Boiler Safety Committee code, which is in 4 parts, 4 parts. 4 parts? Yeah, 4 parts, I think. 3 parts and 2 like appendix, I think. Part 1 is copper boilers, it's got orange cover, which is steel boilers. And part 3 is that right? Part 3 is sub-miniature boilers, like toy steam boilers. Part 4 is duplex steel boilers and special steel boilers like stainless steel and duplex steel and all that stuff. So this code deals with boilers up to, there were some parameters, up to 320 mil diameter and 50 litres capacity and 100 psi. So there we go. 50 litres and 12 inches to 12 and a half inches diameter and 100 psi, so it's a fairly big boiler. And this steel boiler section pretty much deals with designing them. Now, because of the bureaucracy and the stupid red tape, right? And this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. There are some awesome boilers made in the UK for model steam locos and steam engines. at pretty reasonable prices, mass produced. There's a company building basically bolt together kits for traction engines and steam wagons and things like that in miniature size, and not all that miniature size, and kind of fairly huge size, some of them. And that's all very well, but none of their boilers conform to the code. And if you were to import a kit, which would be the only real sane way of ever starting something like, say, a 4.5-inch Foden steam wagon or a big traction engine, because you'd never get it finished. And by the time you buy a big lathe and a big mill, you're kind of nearly in as far as the kit anyway. But and you've still got the rest of your life to kind of machine all the bits and fit them together and hope they fit and work out tolerances and things. Whereas some of the kits are all CNC made and they're all quite nice. Now, I'm not saying either way whether there's something like that in my future, but if I wanted a bigger steam vehicle, that's probably the only sensible way to do it. Now, the downside is that their boilers, while they conform to the EU and the British standard boiler codes and conform fairly robustly, actually, they're pretty solid little boilers and big boilers, some of them. They don't conform to the boiler code because, for one, the inspector hasn't seen them at various stages of being built. They haven't got we can't sort of put someone as a signatory on the documents to say that they welded it up. And we haven't got an engineer to say, look, this boiler conforms. And as such, a club inspector or a AALS sort of inspector who's elected by the Australian Miniature Boiler Safety Committee won't even look at one of those boilers. Copper boilers are a bit different. You can import a copper boiler reasonably easily if it's not a commercial one. But steel boilers, not a hope, not even the slightest hope of getting one sort of half ticketed or inspected or passed if it's been made in the UK or anywhere else, for reasons. Yeah, copper is nice. Copper is also expensive. The particular boiler that I was sort of looking at is about 16 litres capacity. It's about 300 millimetres diameter. It's about 600 millimetres long. It's a fairly lumpy little bit of a steam vessel, actually. And it's all in steel. It's 8, 10, 12 mil plate. In copper, that boiler gets expensive very quickly, to the point that it's completely out of my price range. So steel is probably a better option. And on traction engine, steel is a better option anyway because it's kind of structural. So you can't actually a lot of modern boilers are designed to the AMBSC, which is a step forward because it's a long way ahead of anything else. But a lot of CE and UK stamp boilers don't come up to standard. There's a lot of things that really industrial boilers probably should have that those model boilers don't have, and there's some structural issues that are a problem. So absolutely safer. There's a lot of reasons when you look at the two side by side, and I've got a set of drawings for the other boiler, but there are a lot of reasons why the AMBSC is way ahead as far as safety goes. Just structural things and rules and regulations, the stay issues. The boiler, as built by Steam Traction World, which is the company, has girder stays on top of the firebox, which is completely outlawed under the code. Like, it's not a thing. And it has a welded seam along the top of the firebox, which makes it a very easy thing to construct, I think, and get right. But also completely outlawed. It's also got a foundation ring that's welded from underneath. Which is also really not okay. It's got tube attachment methods that are a bit below spec. It hasn't got telltale holes in the ends of the stays, so you can't really measure wasting and stuff. There are a dozen things probably that aren't quite right with the little boiler. So no one here's going to tick it off. And probably you could get it tested as a full-size vessel. If you found a government inspector who was keen to do it, but they're a long way in between and it's not really worth the risk. So what will probably happen if this does go ahead, and I'm not saying it will at the moment, but what will probably happen, am I boring everyone to death? What will probably happen is that we will get a piece of boiler tube and the mud holes and covers and the fire hole and fire hole door and the bushings from the UK and probably the mounting plates and things. And from there, get all the bits laser cut and sat together and tacked up and get a boiler to inspect it, and then get a code welder to weld it up and get it tested, and you've got a take care, Kevin, good to see you. And Craig's going to crash too, but you've got a boiler that's up to code, and the code's reversible. Of course, if you've got an Australian boiler, it's fine in the UK or in America, but if you've got a boiler from either of those countries, it's not okay in Australia. So that's where we're at with that. Anyway, boring discussion. It's all theoretical stuff. Gonna have to clear a lot more space before that happens. But anyway. Need a bedtime story? You don't need a bedtime story, you need bed. And I'm too tired. So anyway, I reckon we're about done. We're 10 seconds off the hour, which is awesome. We're 2 minutes past, and Craig's on a promise. I know that. We had 2 promises, actually. Did I say that? And we probably need to go to bed anyway. So might call it a night. There will be some more updates about this at some point. Oh, the book's upstairs, Bill. Sorry. Didn't bring it down. James has just got coffee. And absorb this stuff once you read it. On Discord, yeah, absolutely. I'll be on Discord. That's not a problem. We can do that, Peter. On to that. That's where we're at with that. And if you're on Discord, you've probably seen hints and things about this anyway. And there's a drawing upstairs on the drawing table that is sort of starting to come together, showing a little bit more detail about Australian code boiler. But anyway, it's coffee time here. Merry Christmas, everyone. Won't see any of you before then. Take care. All you guys, don't get stuck in the chimney. It makes for a messy Christmas. Have an amazing day and night. Don't drink to excess. Hope you get some workshop time. I mean, that's fairly important. And it won't be like here. I mean, you probably won't get we're going to get a severe thunderstorm today or tomorrow. I think it's going to bucket down. But anyway, take care. Be kind to each other. We'll see you next week. And I'd like to think I have a video up before then, but we'll see. Be kind to each other, and I'm out, guys. Thanks.